Let's get into this beginner-friendly eyebrow tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is using my Sasha Cosmetics translucent powder and my Real Technique setting brush, I'm going to apply the powder over both brows just to ensure the longevity of my brow color throughout the day. Then using my Anastasia Brow Wiz in the color Auburn, I'm going to brush the hairs up, and then starting at the inner corner of my eye, I'm going to trace out the bottom of my brow and bring that tail all the way down to the outer corner of my eye. Then I'm going to trace out the top of my brow, starting directly above where I started my bottom, being sure not to bring the arch up too high above my natural hairline, and let that top tail meet the bottom tail in a triangle of sorts. Then I'm going to fill in with hair-like strokes, just filling in my brows until I get the desired depth that I'm looking for. Then I'm going to take my spoolie and blend that out just to make sure I don't have any heavy deposits of color and just to make it look more natural. So I'm going to continue to do that until I get the shape that I desire. Then I'm going to take my ColourPop pencil, which is a bit darker. It's in the color black and brown, and I'm going to retrace the brow shape in the areas that weren't as defined as I wanted them to be, because remember, I was using a lighter pencil before. But I never like to start off with a dark pencil because I don't want my brows to look too harsh and too unnatural. So I'm going to take my spoolie and spread that black and brown color out, and then I'm going to go back to my Anastasia pencil and just continue to fill in until it just looks the way I would like. So next I'm going to do the same thing to the other brow. I'm going to brush up my brow hairs. Then I'm going to start at the bottom, the inner corner of my eye, and trace out that brow until the tail reaches the outer corner of my eye. Then I'm going to trace out the top, and I'm not going to take my arch up too much higher than my natural brow hairline. Then I'm going to bring that top tail down to meet the bottom tail in kind of a triangle. And I'm just going to keep brushing my spoolie through it to blend. Then I'm going to come back with my ColourPop pencil when that's all done and just define the areas that weren't as dark as I would have liked. The next thing I'm going to do is using my Ulta flat concealer brush and my MAC Studio Fix Concealer in the color NC45. I'm going to take a generous amount of that and just rub it on the back of my hand just to warm it up some and to make it more pliable. I'm going to start at the inner corner and trace out the bottom of my brow. I'm really just carving out that shape, trying to get as close as I can to the shape that I traced out without actually getting concealer into my brow hairs. And then I'm going to blend that down into my eyes. Normally I do this before eyeshadow and lashes, so you can use that color as your eyeshadow base. So then I'm going to take my beauty blender and just blend that into my eye even further. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other brow. I'm going to use that flat concealer brush just to carve out and define the bottom of my brow, but you want to make sure you don't get it into the brow hairs. And you just want to do kind of long strokes as long as you can without picking up your brush, and bring that color down into your eyes, and then blend that out using your beauty blender. So then next I like to take my foundation, and I use Nars in the color Macao, and I'm going to take that same flat concealer brush and I'm going to carve out the top of that brow. Some people like to use concealer here. That's totally up to you. I like a more natural look. So I'm going to trace that out, getting as close as I can to the top sketched line of my brow, and then blend that upward into my forehead foundation. And you're going to see me do that several times because I don't want any excess deposits of foundation on the top of my brow, so I'll just keep blending that out. So I'm going to start at the top on that other brow and trace it down, and then blend that color upward into my forehead. Next I'm going to use my MAC setting gel. It's a color gel and the color Show Off, and I just want to add some color to my brows. So I'm going to take the spoolie and carefully just trace out my brows, brushing the hairs and adding some color to my brows. So y'all, that's it. That's all I do for my eyebrows, and If you have any questions, just let me know. As always, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and all the other social media platforms. Thanks again for watching.